Watch my previous video, Biblical Creation, Exquisite, Intricate, which explains that Genesis 1:2 references the ultra-diffuse cloud in outer space that God gradually transformed into this solar system. The eretz that was in that cloud was without form, and Genesis 1:2 says so. You either believe in Genesis 1:2 or you don't. Astronomers are keenly aware of how such ultra-diffuse clouds in outer space gradually transform into stars and planetary systems. As I said in my previous video, our solar system is typical, and Genesis 1:6 through 8, the second day, is exactly what astronomers expect to follow Genesis 1:2 through 5. In Genesis 1:8, God called the expanse heavens. When God was making this solar system, a typical star and planetary system, that zone of space was initially cluttered with dust and gas, including H2O. And just as astronomers are familiar with, that cluttered zone of space got decluttered. The Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse is decluttered space. Heavens, a zone of relatively empty space. However, some false teachers claim that the Holy Bible claims that the expanse is basically a solid piece of transparent plexiglass up in the sky. They claim that the Holy Bible claims that the expanse suspends a sky ocean way above our heads. If those teachers were correct in their interpretation of the expanse, then birds would fly under the expanse, under the heavens. But the Holy Bible repeatedly indicates that birds fly in the heavens. There is not even one Bible verse that says that birds fly under the expanse, under the heavens. Always remember that heavens is what God called the Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse. Birds fly in the lowest zone of that expanse, and the outermost boundary, highest zone of the Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse is demarcated by the spherical shell of the Oort Cloud. Ezekiel saw God enthroned above the Oort Cloud. See my video, Ezekiel saw the Oort Cloud? The planets of our solar system are in the Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse. Comets and asteroids of our solar system are in the Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse, and birds fly in the lowest zones of the Genesis 1:6 through 8 expanse. The Hebrew noun rakia, Strong's 7459, got translated into the English noun expanse in Genesis 1:6 through 8. The word firmament is a rather strange translation of the Hebrew noun rakia, so do not be confused by English translations that placed the word firmament into Genesis 1:6 through 8. The Hebrew verb rakah, Strong's 7554, is the root word of the Hebrew noun rakia, Strong's 7459. When you know the meaning of a Hebrew root word, you have a clue as to the meaning of any Hebrew word that is derived from that Hebrew root word. We know the meaning of rakah, and so we have a clue as to the meaning of rakia, the expanse, which is heavens. Rakah means to pound something and thereby cause it to get wider and wider and wider. Isaiah revealed that God rakah planet Earth. First of all, always remember that the Holy Bible repeatedly reveals that God laid the foundations of planet Earth. That is Geology 101. And Isaiah the prophet mentioned some other information that scientists are familiar with. The Hebrew verb rakah appears in Isaiah 42:5 and Isaiah 44:24. Isaiah 42:5, spreadeth forth the earth. Isaiah 44:24, spreadeth abroad the earth. God forms planets by slamming asteroids and comets into an ever-growing celestial body. It is a violent, pounding process, and each moon and planet gets wider and wider. Raka. When protoplanets go through that violent pounding process in a cluttered protoplanetary disk, a relatively clear gap is formed in the protoplanetary disk. The central gap in a protoplanetary disk is an early version of an expanse in each protoplanetary disk. Of course, each expanse gradually evolves into a wider and wider expanse in each respective developing planetary system. Simply put, clearing the neighborhood is alluded to in Genesis chapter 1. Astronomers use the term clearing the neighborhood in reference to planets decluttering their respective zones, respective orbital lanes in their respective protoplanetary disk. And an expanse, Rakia, thereby comes into existence in each respective protoplanetary disk. Each young planet in our developing solar system was formed in its own violent Raka context, and the result was the Genesis 1, 6 through 8 Rakia, the expanse, the zone of heavens of our solar system. Genesis 1, 2 through 8 describes God having gradually made this solar system. And those scriptural processes are exactly what astronomers observe going on in outer space. God is still making stars with planetary systems. Astronomers are watching God do in outer space what God did in Genesis 1, 2 through 8. Our solar system is a typical planetary system. It's in Genesis chapter 1. It is Astronomy 101. If you understand Genesis chapter 1 and all of biblical creation, you will see that the Holy Bible actually tells the scientific community that Jesus Christ is Lord.